Hello everybody. Today doing something a little bit different on the channel for Mr. Tangent 0081. We're gonna do the top 5 Mech games that I've played and not the ones that I haven't played. I can't really, rank a game if I haven't played it. But so yeah, that's the top 5 Mech games. Armored Core 6 came out. That's the big daddy. That's the king of them all of them. It's not number one on my list, but it is on the list. I'll just show them as I go through. I'll try to get, I think I'll have footage of each game and I'll just talk about them for a little bit. Not gonna be super long, just to be a quick little video. So, yeah, let's get started. So, number 5 is Zone of the Enders, the second runner. So, Zone of the Enders, the second runner. You're like, hey, but what about the first one? Man, you gotta get the first one. The first one, it's decent. It's not bad. It's definitely all right, but the second one's is definitely a step up. Um, yeah, I mean, seeing you change to a new character this time around. You were Dingo Egret instead of Leo Stenbach. Still pilot orbital frames. You got Jyoti, and it just keeps improving, getting better, faster, stronger. Insert memes, whatever. And yeah, I feel like the sub weapons are more important this time around. I love Vic Viper, Leo being the pilot. He kind of glow up. You got to fight against him, and like within having a Gradius reference, they bring it back with the Zoradius or Zoradius, however you want to say it. It's like a 3D one level that you have to unlock by doing some shenanigans. I don't know. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah. So you do that. Vector cannon is probably one of the coolest weapons ever, but you can only use it about once because it takes like 30 seconds to charge and has the most amazing blast probably that you ever get to do in any game ever. I love the war sequence. So there's like hundreds of freaking orbital frames, and you got to like repair the other ones and battle a whole bunch. Like it's really epic. Like it feels like Dynasty Warriors, or even this one game called Ikusagami or Demon Chaos or something on PS2. But like taken up to the extreme, and like maybe the frame rate chugs a little bit, but I don't remember it chugging. Maybe it did. I don't know. It's been a while. After this is remaster, it came out like 2018, I believe, on PS4, and it has the VR. And so, that I don't have the PSVR, so I never really got to experience it. A friend of mine, Kid Ruby, they have the Oculus or MetaQuest or whatever it's called. MetaQuest, I think that's it. Meta Oculus Quest, whatever it is. I don't know. They had that one, so I tried that one. That's fun. The PlayStation, haven't tried it yet. Never had the money, and didn't really have that many games that I wanted to try for it. I mean, some of my games I like this one, Tekken 7, Wipeout. I know it was another one, but Mega Collection. But anyway, getting sidetracked. So back to Zone of the Enders. So with side games, because they put out this version, they said if it sold well, we'll make a third Zone of the Enders game. And technically, there is a third one. It's on GBA. It's not super cheap to get a hold of, but I've heard the story is really good, and it's kind of like Super Robot Wars, but you have to aim and attack or something. But anyway, yeah, this game, high speed robot action. Not sure how much Kojima was actually involved with this one, but overall, I think it's the best game in the series, and it's number 5 because it's short and it does have a few things that hold it back, but it only gets better from this point on. So yeah, on to the next one. Number 4 is Super Robot Wars
Number
V.
4, Super Robot.
I don't know, something went wrong with the last thing I recorded, so I guess I couldn't really get the cover out, but it's okay. So yeah, Super Robot Wars V is celebrates the 25th anniversary of the series, and it is, I believe, the first one of the mainline games to be. Those are the ones that have all the crazy anime series. It's a first one to be actually translated in English officially with the actual physical copy. I mean, before and still going on, fans of are translating the games left and right, and I'm loving it. I actually I was halfway through J, but I don't know, I bought a new phone, and I guess the data didn't transfer, so I have to start all over again. Anyway, back here. So Super Wars V. Um, this is I think one of the best games in the series, maybe one of the hardest. Um, it's how let's see, it has about 20 different series. I'd have to say, yeah, 26 different series and 52 scenarios. Was released in 2017 for the PS4 and the Vita, developed by BB Studio and published by Bamco. And then in 2019, it was put on Switch and Steam. It's the only game in the series I beat. That's why it's on this list, and it's fantastic. I love it. I mean, it introduced me to a few mech series I wasn't familiar with, like Full Metal Panic, and I loved the Getter Robo so much in this game that I no well a while ago I saw Getter Robo Armageddon, and that made me fall in love with that series. Love Getter Robo, and it's like in most of these games, like the Holy Trinity is like Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and some form of Gundam. There you find that in just about every game. I think one of the other newer releases probably like it might be X. Like that one might not have Get a Robo in it, but I'll still get it because the other units are cool. This is also one of the ones in English to have Evangelion, which I know has a lot of fans. I am not super familiar with the series, but what I have seen, I have enjoyed. I got one of the rebuild movies, like You Are Not Alone, and I thought it was pretty nice. And I'll eventually get the watch the other ones on Amazon. And I think this game is one of the first in this series to actually not have a non-mech series. We have Space Battleship Yamato, which is a classic by Leiji Matsumoto. I haven't seen that one yet. I have Galaxy Railways, going through that one, loving it. Rest in peace, Matsumoto. And Leiji Matsumoto was amazing pioneer sci-fi anime, and the Gundam is featured in this one. Pretty good. Like a lot of Universal Century representation from New Gundam, Zeta, F91, um, and the elusive, illustrious, fantastic, and hopefully get an anime one day. Crossbone. Love the Crossbone design so much. They're featured in a lot of different Gundam crossover games, but. So yeah, this one I think I put at least 50 hours into this one. I found my in-game clock, and it said way more than 50 hours, but sometimes I'd have to take a break and to go eat or do laundry or some other trash and stuff. So I know that the hours they're kind of inflated a little bit, so it's a bit much. But it's like Super Hot Wars. Um, I don't know. It's basically a tie between Super Robot Wars and Disgaea for my favorite like grid-based strategy games. And if we're talking non-grids, then I got to give it to Valkyria. XCOM's pretty nice too, but Valkyria Chronicles number one. And so yeah, I spent a lot of time with this game. It highly and heavily encourages you to replay the game to see each character's story and the differences because you get to pick Soji, who's like he's kind of he's a little bit darker skinned guy, and Chitose, she's kind of pale but pretty cute girl. I picked Chitose, and you get the Vong Ray or the Vong something. Because I had that mech at level 58, but that wasn't even my highest. My highest was one of the DLC units or the secret DLC or secret units. I think it was. I think they were free DLC. And so it was you got the Huckabane and the Grungus, which are OG units. And I actually do have OG Moon Dwellers, even though I heard its translation is not that great. But That's how we first got started in America with the Super Bowl War series is the OG games, and there's several of them, but we actually didn't even get all of them. We just got the first two on GBA. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. On the next one. Number three is this. Well, it's Armored Core 3 because that's the one I put the most time into. But yeah, I'm calling them Armored Core 6 because it ain't cheap to get a hold of them older Armored Cores. Oh, Armored Core 3, as most people probably already know, it's developed by From Software. Before they were more popular as they are now. Published by Age Tech. Who remembers Age Tech? Like, I don't even think they're a publisher anymore. But they got busy. I mean, they did a lot. I think most of the Armored Cores, Disaster Report, which I love, at least Raw Danger. I'd like to play the other one. I did play demo Disaster Report 4, but that's besides the point. So Armored Core 3, I probably had to put at least like 80 hours or something crazy. I put a lot of hours in this game. It's the first one I played. I want to say I played a demo and it hooked me. I'd known about the series since PS1, but by the time I had a PS2, I was like, why would I go backwards? Like, I'm sure the technology, the graphics, the capabilities of how much they can throw into these games would be more advanced. So that's why I was just like, okay, I'll go for Armored Core 3. And I think I like the cover a lot. The original cover, I don't know, it has like a newer cover last time I looked for it, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not cheap. I mean, it's not the most expensive game. I probably could get the physical copy for it, but I have no PS2, and I highly doubt that From Software would even re-release any of their old games like that. I'd be really surprised. It'd be welcome, or even like a remaster or something, but because I mean, honestly, there was way too many on PS2. There was way too many Armored Core games. Like, I only played 3. I wanted to play Silent Line because I think I heard you could transfer your data, and I heard Silent Line's incredible, but I don't know. I never gave it a chance. But becoming a Raven for the first time, this game, was really outstanding. I remember that I even made my own like decal. I think it might be one of the first games we could customize your decals, and I remember putting a very vulgar language penguin, which is kind of like my Pudgy Penguin series. So yeah, if you ever heard about the Pudgy Penguin, Pudgy Chronicles, yeah, it's a comic book series. It's a little brash, a little awkward, but I mean the dialogue in this game is not brash, it's not awkward. It's I think the story is very well done in Armored Core, and especially in this game. Side with these different corporations, try to figure out the truth behind, war and explanation and being a mercenary and figuring out, how much you can get for certain things. Um, and this game, I remember, this is kind of a From Software tradition as the Kawasaki, laser blade. Is it Kawasaki? The Moonlight Blade, yeah, Moonlight Blade. I think it's Moonlight because I think there's different. I forgot how many different companies you can work with. It's like Crest. I think Kawasaki was one of them, maybe. But and I mean, I've put a little bit of time in Armored Core 6, but I haven't beat it yet, so I can't really give like a final verdict on that one. Like I've only played, I want to say 5 or 6 games in the series. Like, so honestly, this really is just the whole series that I'm putting on the map. But honestly, the ranking might be higher if I played more of the games in the series. But I played 3, 4, 4 answer. Oh, that's expensive these days. Over 100, maybe almost 200. Um, yeah, 4 answer, 5 in Verdict Day. Verdict Day I loved a lot too. 5 I didn't like that much, but I remember going online with my nephew. We loved to play that together back in the heyday. But what else was it about it? Oh, this game introduced the EOs because you had different cores. But before it was just like overboost, I believe, or overboost, auxiliary boost, whatever they call it, where you can just hit like L3 or R3 and you know get long, nice boosts. You know, and jump in the air and just go at crazy speeds for a few seconds. But the EO, they basically were funnels that would give you an additional attack, and there were different types. And I want to say three was the first to introduce the EO. I believe they were called like Exceed Option or something like that. And yeah, so it's pretty good. And yeah, Armored Core 3, you know, full customization. You can have about 3 mechs in your garage. The arena always fun, trying to climb to the top. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Number 2 is Gundam Battle Universe. Woo. So Gundam Battle Universe, it was developed by Ardink and published by Bandai before the merger with Namco, maybe not Namco or Bamco as I call them. I don't know. Anytime companies do mergers, I try to find a way to combine their names together in a kind of amusing way or just to be silly. I give Square Enix or Square Enix, call them Square Enix. But anyway, so yeah, developed by Ardink. Ardink was on a run, dude. Like their PSP run, like their Gundam games, the Macross games. Like, are you kidding me? This stuff was amazing. Like, completely legendary in every way. And this game, I think, it wasn't even the last Gundam game on PSP actually, but I think it's the best one because it tackles most of the Universal Century before Unicorn and like Victory. But it was actually made. The game came out 2009. Yeah, 2009 on PSP. There's around 200 playable mobile suits with a few mobile armors in there too. Like, yes, this is actually one of the very few games where you can control Big Zam. And yeah, that's if you go on Xeon, you pick Xeon's side, go through different missions, and yeah, you can have the big control of Big Zam, which is love to see it. Love to see it. It's very awesome. It's good stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, even like more obscure series or manga or even light novels or the novels like Sentinel are featured in this game. And I'd be surprised if that'll probably never get an anime adaptation. But it's nice that it has a mech design, so they throw it in there. I think the pilot was like Ryu Roots, because you have all the pilots of this series, like all the original Japanese voice actors, like they showed up and they did a good job. So like, okay, you're wondering, okay, well, you see the footage, you're wondering, okay, this kind of looks a little like a third-person shooter. And yeah, that's right. It's third-person shooter with RPG elements. Like after every mission, you get points based on you get ranked. And you get points based on your performance. You use those points to tune up your mech, mobile suit. And yeah, I mean, with over two, if you as long as you get high enough ranks on each mission, you'll be unlocking a mobile suit almost every like 2 or 3 missions. Like it's very overwhelming and very entertaining, and it's just fantastic. I mean, this is one of the best games ever made. I'd love a remake or a remaster of it where they added Unicorn and yeah, even Hathaway's Flash. Because I mean, that first movie was good, and there's supposed to be more coming along, but they did what is it, like Kuroku's Doran, which is like a the original series like related to that. And I mean, there's even like some deep cuts, like a white and purple Zeta Gundam, and they gave it like a twin like Buster rifle, kind of like Wing Zero. I don't even remember what that's from, but it's a lot of deep cuts, good references here. I mean, my personal favorites of Universal Century tend to be 8th MS Team and what do you call it? War in the Pocket. And Alex is pretty good for the portion where you can play as the Alex. Because yeah, you have to worry about live ammo and beam weaponry. There are melee attacks, but most of the units are not very good at melee. Like this is not This is not one of the Gundam versus fighting games or Gundam Extreme versus, so you can't play it like that. But it's still fantastic. It has multiplayer. I've never had a chance to play with anybody I know that has it because I don't know anybody that has it. I don't. I mean, even. I mean, I only know like my nephew's a big Gundam fan, and we play a few different games together, and like we played SD Gundam Battle Alliance, which is made by the same developers, but I'm sure that it's probably a different staff of people that are there, so I don't think they have all the same people there. But yeah, I really love this game, and it probably is my favorite Gundam game. And number one is Chosoju Mecha MG or Super Control Mecha MG, developed by Sandlot, as you can see, and published by Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo of Japan. One of the biggest game companies ever. And they're like, giant robots. Nah, that ain't gonna fly over in America. We're not doing this. But the footage I have here is in English. There is a fan translation of this game. I never thought it would come. Because I played this game, I beat it twice, I want to say, in Japanese. First time in Japanese was terrible. Second time, a little bit better. And then the fan translation was out. I was like, oh wow, I gotta get on this like quickness. Because this is my favorite Mech game. This is 100%, 120% if you even want, Oscar. The best. Because Sandlot, my introduction to these developer is from a game called Robot Alchemic Drive, which is one of the most incredible games of PS2. Like this sense of scale and size and the majesty and aura and ambiance, beat a mech to the fullest extent. Like nobody does it better than Sandlot. I'm like, a lot of people probably know him for EDF, and EDF is good. I love EDF. Took a little bit for the games to come over here, but I love those games, and sometimes you can even control mechs in them. Like I know EDF 4.1 you can. Love that mission. It's like 80 something missions in the bomb or something like that. And just throwing a punch, it feels so good. Nobody does it like Sandlot. I might do some kind of retrospective based on this article that I found on Mech Games about them, because they actually have a pretty decent legacy of games that they've made. Like the original one is called Remote Control Dandy, and it is one of the most impressive PS1 games. It really holds up, and that's got a fan translation too. But anyway, yeah. So Super Control Mecha MG. The MG stands for Marionation Gears. Now Nintendo, yes, but not Mario. It's more like a marionette. There's a big theme throughout the game. The first MG you control, it's got puppet string, and you can move it around, to move and do attacks and stuff. And all out of these 100-ish, playable MGs, most of them are unique. There's a couple palette swaps here and there. Most of them, they have their own control scheme on the touchscreen. You're like, man, the DS fully touchscreen. Like it works better than every other game. Like Kirby Canvas Curse and this are, I would say, the best uses of the stylus. Like done so well. It's amazing. Like I know, and the footage that I'm showing, like there's a numpad, I can't remember the name of the MG, but in its vehicle form, it can fire a nuke. But the only way to fire the nuke is if you enter today's date. So you have to be like, okay, today's March 6th, so you'd have to do 0306, and then you punch in that code, and it works, and it'll send a nuke. You gotta be careful though. The explosion is really gigantic. Like it can kill you. It's insane. But I mean, like you got like. Robots with shotguns that can turn into a Shinkansen. You got like a ninja that can turn into a frog and throw like a giant shuriken and do like this spinning attack. Like, and every stage isn't just kill all of the enemies. I think they call it Ottoman. Yeah, called Ottoman, like the Ottoman Empire. A nice reference, but like yeah, I mean game is really amazing because you don't just destroy enemies every stage. Sometimes you go on a race because some of like the Puppet Warrior Gauss, that's the poster bot in the blue with the sword. You can pick up buildings with your sword and fling buildings at people. It's insane. Like this game is too amazing. Like it really is like the best ever made. Um, I would love it if they throw it on the Switch. The Switch has a touchscreen. They could easily just split up the two screens. The screen is big enough. They could split it up. It could work. Like I heard Etrian Odyssey is like now coming to the Switch. Like Ghost Trick. Like all these other different DS games. So I'm like, it's probably not gonna happen. But I would love it more than anything. I'd buy 7 copies and give them to people like I don't even like giant robots. It doesn't matter. MG baby, Super Control Mecha MG. Game is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, best mech game of all time. Nothing will top it in my opinion. Well, this video went a little bit longer than I expected, but I figure I have to do some honorable mentions though. I mean, like I briefly talked about some of them, like because besides the proper 5 that are on this list, like so starting with like super starting with Armored Core, yeah, I definitely have to give it to like For Answer, which wasn't so expensive, but that came really close to being like almost as quick as Zone of the Enders, but having that deep customization. Okay, another one. If we go to Gundam, I already mentioned Battle SD Battle Alliance. It's really fun, but fighting games like Endless Duel, Gundam Wing Endless Duel on the Super Famicom, incredible. Probably the most beautiful game maybe on the system. Like it really looks outstanding and amazing, and it's fun to play. Epion can be a pain. I believe Epion's the final boss. I haven't played it in many years, but for my early emulation days of Super Nintendo and Super Famicom, yeah, that was a treat. I don't even understand why we didn't get that because it's like Gundam. We had Gundam Wing. Like Gundam Wing was everything to us. It's the first Gundam series, but that ain't happened. And another one, Gundam game, Gundam Battle Assault 2, because it has around 30 something playable mobile suits. I'd love another 2D Gundam game like that. They only do 3D ones nowadays. But even, okay, Maxi Boost, Extreme Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost On, I think is what it is. I just call it Maxi Boost or MBON. I've seen it abbreviated, which, has funny implications behind it. But, game's really good, but honestly, that's probably the hardest Gundam game I've ever played because there's like this mode called Maxi Boost missions, and basically it's the missions go from A to Z. So it's like, oh, A, you have easy missions, and then B, a little bit harder. C, I think I'm on like E or F, and there are missions where like if you get hit one time, just one time, you're dead. And I'm like, all these bullets and beams flying everywhere from fighting like at least 6 different mobile suits. It's impossible. Cause like my biggest issue with the Gundam Extreme games is they want you to, at least in the Maxi Boost, they want you to block by going down then up on the analog stick. And I'm like, that does not compute in the heat of battle. Like that really does not compute. Like it doesn't. I should be holding, I don't know, like L2 or something to block. I don't know, L through L1. I mean, it uses every button on the controller, but you should be able to map that input to a different thing. But I don't even think you can change the controls. I don't know. But I mean, that game has like 183 mobile suits, so it is almost as many as Gundam Battle Universe, and it does cover the entire franchise. By even having exclusive mechs that are extreme, Gundam Extreme, and different variants and whatnot. G, because we got Wing and G first, and all the G's. Several has the most G units out of all of them, pun intended. But what I'm trying to think, any other Gundam games? Oh yeah. Of course, it's my namesake, Mr. Tangent 0081. Yeah, that comes from Gundam Senki 0081. It was, I think, the best PS3 Gundam game. But because Crossfire got bad reviews, they were like, "Oh, all Gundam games suck. We give up. Like, we're not gonna bring any more of these games over." And I was sad. I was sad because that game really missed out. And I mean, well, the first Gundam Extreme versus it had Linkin Park for the intro. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna come to America." Nope, never happened. We had Linkin Park. Like they're huge. Well, they were huge. They're not as big anymore, but crazy. Like Linkin Park on the intro is one of the more like techno synthy wave kind of songs, but it still sounded good. I mean, I liked it. I think that's all I can think of for Gundam. My phone went off. Crap! I forgot to turn my sound off. Anyway, what other? Oh yeah, I mean, okay, for Sandlot, yeah, I mentioned Remote Control Dandy. I never beat that one, but that game is really, really impressive. But you cannot. You have to protect the city though. You cannot harm any of the buildings. So I mean, with MG, Super Control Mecha MG, you could actually, just on most missions, you can destroy buildings, use them as weapons, and you do things like, oh, collect 5 rocks and put them in this area. Good mission variety. Oh, that game is incredible. But I'm trying to think. Oh, what was the other one? Bangayo by Treasure, which I call him like a puzzle shooter, kind of like a free roam puzzle shooter. I had the one on DS. It was called Bangayo Spirits. That's another really interesting series. Yeah, I don't think. I think the last one was on 360, which I've never owned one, but that's cool. That's Treasure still. I don't even think Treasure's even active anymore. Like for all I know, last game they made was Geist Crusher on like 3DS, only in Japan. 3DS is region locked. Who wants to buy a Japanese 3DS? I mean, it's probably expensive and awkward. Yeah, I think that's about all I can really think of, man. I mean, Dexter is an older one. They got a remake, by Squeenix. I think on PS3 era. That was an interesting game. That's actually one of Game Art's early games. Yeah, they're behind Luna and Grandia. Yeah, I think that's all I really got. I mean, but yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy watching the video. It's kind of unrelated, but I'm just gonna put a link to my book in the description just to get it out there. Yeah, I don't really talk about any mechs in the book. Yeah, but I mean, I'm an author. I gotta get myself out there more often. So yeah, thanks for watching. Video's longer than I expected, but hopefully y'all like it. I'm gonna be doing more unscripted content like this to kind of move different variety of content. And yeah, so damn, there's a quote from a Gundam I want to use, but I forgot what it was. You will see the tears of time.